Rock or mineral, a delicious activity. Is an aero bar more like a rock or a mineral? Well, let's take a look at what it looks like. It's a dark brown color. It's got a pretty smooth texture. And the outside of the aero bar looks like the same material all over. There's no bumps. There's no visible different parts. When we cut it into two pieces, we still see that smooth outer shell that's made of chocolate, but we can see some bubbles inside, but those are just chocolate and air bubbles. Let's cut it into more than two pieces and see if there's any difference. No, it just looks like smaller pieces of the same, but we still don't see any other material except chocolate. My conclusion, arrows only have one type of material, that's the chocolate, so I would classify an aero bar as a mineral. How about a caramel bar? Well, the outside of it, same dark brown color and smooth texture, just like an aero bar had. The outside of the caramel bar looks like the same material all over. Let's cut it into two pieces. Well, it still has that smooth outer shell, still is made of chocolate. I don't see any difference between either piece. Well, let's cut it into more than two pieces, and all of a sudden there's smooth outer shell still there, but there's a gooey, runny middle section. There are two visible materials, and we know that minerals only are made of one material. So a caramel, because it has the chocolate and the caramel inside, I would classify this as being more like a rock. How about a coffee crisp? A rock or a mineral? Well, the outside of that coffee crisp, same dark brown color as the other two were. That doesn't help us decide yet. It's got a pretty smooth texture. You can see some ridges and bumps, but it's pretty smooth all over, and it looks like it's the same material all throughout the whole candy bar. When we cut into the coffee crisp, though, right off the bat, you can see lots of different materials. There's light brown, there's beige, there's dark brown, there's bubbles, there's flat sections. So the materials are actually in layers as well. There's more than one material there. It's visible. This is a rock. A Rice Krispie treat, more like a rock or a mineral? Well, when you look at the outside, it's a light yellow color. You can see the individual grains that make up the Rice Krispie treat. You can see all the different Rice Krispies in there. But you can only see the light yellow grains. It might be just one material that's been cemented and compacted together. We don't know. If we pull the Rice Krispie treat apart, though, you get long, gooey strands that stretch until they break. It was hard to see that in a photograph, but if you've ever pulled apart a Rice Krispie treat, you know what I'm talking about. So those two materials, there's the grains and that gooey, stretchy material. So there's at least two materials in the Rice Krispie treat. So I would classify this as being more like a rock than a mineral. Our final example, the wagon wheel. Is that more like a rock or was more like a mineral? Well, the outside has the dark brown color, the smooth texture, just like some of our earlier examples, and you can only see that one type of material. So you can really notice that looking at a rock or a sample from the outside doesn't tell you if it's a rock or a mineral right off the bat. But when you break this apart or cut this apart, you can see lots of layers. There's the marshmallow layer, there's the cookie layer, there's the chocolate layer. And because they are more than one layers, I would say that this is more like a rock than a mineral. So now it's your turn. How do you show the difference between a rock and a mineral?